It was midnight at the outdoor swimming baths, and all my cousins were already in the water, having lots of fun. I was standing at the side, shivering in my bathers. At just 4 years old, I was terrified of the water. Now, Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you missed out because you held back, afraid of what might happen? I so wanted to join my cousins in the pool that night, but fear was holding me back like a cage. A cage like my pet budgie, Joey. Oh, we got Joey years ago, and after a few days of training him to jump onto my finger, it was time to let him out of the cage so that he could explore the lounge room. I put the cage down, opened the door, and waited. He's a clever boy. He jumped down, just looked out of the door. Then he jumped back to his main perch. He started to pace up and down, ever so fast. Then he jumped down again. I called my wife. Norma, Joey's not coming out. Just leave him, she said. He'll come out eventually. And he did. It took him over an hour before he came out. What do you do when you're standing in front of that open door of opportunity? At that pool that night, I eventually jumped. I got a certificate to say that I was a midnight bather. I escaped my cage that night. But that wasn't always the case. Back in primary school, for me, it was all just too hard. I didn't even try in primary school. In fact, I went all the way through primary school, second in the class, second bottom. As I moved on to high school, I started to grow up. I grew my own flying feathers. I learned how to open my own cage. And when I got out, it felt great. I moved on. I came to Australia from Scotland, in case you hadn't guessed. I had a family, a wife. Life was so good. In fact, perhaps it was too good. Do you realise that if you don't get out of your cage often enough, it closes in on you and makes it more and more difficult to escape? I had a good job and I was working on a project, developing a project for over 18 months. Eventually my boss came to me, Peter his name was, and said, "George, your project has been approved." I thought, yes, that's great. He said, "Would you like to manage the project, George?" Manage the project? Me? I'm not sure. What would I do? Well, I did the only thing a man in my situation could do. I asked my wife. She said, "George, I can't tell you what to do." Well, that was the first. So the next day, I went to Peter and I said, "No, let someone else do the project." Oh, I should have managed that project. That was my project. But I was scared. I was back in that cage again. Some months later, Peter called me into the office again and said, "George, we'd like to send you on a motivational course." I thought, why me? I do remember that course. In fact, I remember vividly the last challenge we had. Things were going okay. And Mark, our instructor, said, "This we call the leap of faith. You have to climb up to that pole, top of that pole, onto the platform, and jump off with the harness on, and it'll hold you back, a bit like a parachute jump." How are you with heights? I'm terrified of them. And this pole about 10 times the height of this, well, maybe I exaggerate, 5 times the height of this ceiling. It was sparse to climb up. And the platform on top, well, it was so small you could hardly even see it. My instincts were saying, no. But there was a little voice in my head that said, yes, I can. And that voice got louder as I walked towards the pole. I started to climb up. As I got near the top, my knees started to shake. And then when I got on top, the pole started shaking with my knees. Don't look down! I looked out. I was in the treetops, but I felt on top of the world. As I took my leap, I shouted, yes! I had escaped and learned how to escape my cage that day. And I know you can too. It's as easy as saying, yes I can, and then having the determination to follow it through. We don't want to miss out. There's no need to miss out by holding back. Are you ready to escape your cage? When the opportunity comes up next, and you can feel that cage closing in on you, say to yourself, I can do this. Step forward, spread your wings, and escape your cage.